Angels trade deadline outlook. This is Ryan Finkelstein, managing editor for Just Baseball. Got another one of our editors here, Jack McMullen. And this is a team that just can't seem to build around Mike Trout. Another failed season. There was like a month where they were, I don't know if they were in first place. They were contending though in the West. And then it just went through a tailspin. Joe Madden got fired. Mike Trout's got a scary back injury now.
Yep.
And you got Shohei Ohtani sitting here, and suddenly the control that you have on him is starting to dwindle. And are you going to have him and Trout on the books and not be able to build around them? Or are you going to pull the trigger and trade Babe Ruth? How did that work out the last time a team traded Babe Ruth? I don't remember. Was there like a curse or something for like almost 100 years?
I'm thinking it was from the Red Sox to the Yankees. That's
Yes.
right. That's what it was. Yeah, it didn't work out well for the Red Sox now, did it, Fink?
No, but maybe they should trade him to the Astros and just see how that pans out for them.
Yeah, man. I find it really interesting. Hannah Kaiser with Yahoo wrote an article about Ohtani and this pop-up trade possibility of Shohei Ohtani while the world is talking about Juan Soto. And she took an excerpt to tweet out the plug for the article. The first tweet, it's a thread of two. So I'm not going to do thread 1/?. It's 1/2. Quote, you could argue that the Angels have to get something out of having won Ohtani sweepstakes. And if it's not going to be a championship or even an October series, it might as well be other less interesting players. The next tweet, but then you'd have to wonder, is there any return that makes them more likely to win than having had both Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani in their prime? Anything that's better than just rolling the dice again next year and hoping for different results? That's the conundrum that Perry Manassian's in right now. Do you hold on to Ohtani and now an ailing Trout who's got this rare back issue, something going on with his vertebrae? Do you just hope that Ohtani and Trout can strike again next year and next year's finally the year? We thought this year was the year 2 months in. It's obviously not. I'm of the thinking of the latter. You would kill any organization, your Mets, my White Sox, they would kill to have Ohtani and Trout on the same team. I don't care if I get the top 10 prospects in the deepest organization in baseball. I'd rather be watching Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's such a fascinating thing though, because the back injury is what kind of just throws this whole thing into loop. I mean, I'm speaking from a Mets perspective, obviously. So I hear back, I think David Wright, and what that does to your franchise. And so you could be in this position where you do trade him, and then you're just left with Trout, which that's scary to me. And it's like maybe you should just hang on to Ohtani and make him the new building block, or at least you trade him and you get a bunch back, so you might have a better chance. Or there's a chance that you're sunk on both of them when it comes to the cost. And Ohtani enough is not going to get you to a World Series because Trout enough, as the best player, it still wasn't. I know Ohtani gives you an arm on top of it, but yeah, they're in such a weird spot here. And I feel like it's similar to Juan Soto in that I don't think the prospect value is that much greater now than it is in the offseason, where I just feel like, if anything, why make that decision right now?
Yeah, my thought is I think a GM is going to be just crazy enough to pull the trigger for a heightened pot than what you're going to get during the offseason. And my eyes immediately go to AJ Preller. That's my Soto thing. I think
for Soto,
if Soto's in another uniform next week, I think it's the San Diego Padres, because I think AJ Preller is nutty enough to give up the top 5 prospects in his organization for Juan Soto. I don't think that Preller is around to get Soto and Ohtani. So I think they hold on to Ohtani. So now you look at other avenues in which you can sell, other avenues in which you can get helpful pieces back. And you look at the Angels, you want one half of the game to be good. You want the hitting stable to be good. So all you got to worry about is pitching. You want the pitching stable to be good. So all you got to worry about is supplementing Trout and Ohtani. Problem is, they're both heavily flawed. Yeah. This is one of the worst teams in baseball. This is the worst team in baseball since June 1st when Shohei Ohtani is not on the mound. Ohtani, saw this on ESPN this morning, 4 losses in which he has logged 10 plus strikeouts on the mound. That's how bad this team is. There are no hitters after the front 4, and there's no pitching after Ohtani and Syndergaard. So naturally, sell Syndergaard, sell the vets, see if you can get more bats, and see if you can roll the dice again with Trout and Ohtani.
Yeah, Sam Lucchini, who wrote the outlook on the Angels, kind of had an interesting strategy here, which is dumping the money that you just ponied up in some of these guys in the offseason. Aaron Loup, Ryan Tepera, Noah Syndergaard, none of them having the type of years that you expected when you signed them. To me, Syndergaard's the most interesting. If it's just a salary dump at however much he's made, $21 million, whatever is the prorated version that's left, I don't think you're going to get a great return. But if the Angels decide, you know what, let's eat some money here, make him a little more attractive, and try to find a contender, I think that there's a team out there that says, you know what, Noah Syndergaard might not be a 1, he might not be a 2, might not be a 3 anymore, but he could be a damn good number 4 in a playoff rotation who at least has been taking the ball every fifth day, and he's getting ground balls. He's at least going deep in some of these games. I think he's interesting. I think he's an interesting piece.
You're going to hate this team that I'm going to throw out right now. I think the Phillies could really use the services of Noah Syndergaard.
Yeah, no, actually, I like that fit though. I mean, in division, and honestly, I don't see the Phillies actually compete with the Mets this year anyway. Yeah. But as a wild card team, that's a nice little piece. I like Noah Syndergaard, even at his state more than what Zach Eflin, some of these other guys. As a 4 starter for them, I like him a lot there. That's a good fit.
Yeah, I think so too, man. And then whatever bullpen pieces, I'm with Sam. I think if Loop goes somewhere else, he might find success. If Tepera goes somewhere else, he might find success. You're not going to get anything for David Fletcher. You're not going to get anything for, whoever rando you're running out there to play center field while Trout's out. It's just a brutal turn of events for the LA Angels. And here's to hoping they can salvage it. If they're smart and if they don't want to commit optics suicide, you hold on to Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, and you try it again in 23.
Yep, and if you're trading Loop and Tepera, at least you get out of the second, and I don't know if it's a 3-year deal for either, but you get out of that next year, and you can try to build a bullpen again, which every team is going to do. But that is our outlook on the Angels. All 30 teams we have outlooks on at our State of the Division YouTube channel. You can also find the podcast feed at State of the Division and the write-ups at justbaseball.com.